Welcome to Getting Real with John Natale. I'm your host today, guys, John Natale, for episode 88 of Getting Real, how to reinvent yourself for success. The one thing I know about real estate is that the industry itself, although it seems at times antiquated, a little bit older, the truth is it is always changing, and it is going through the most rapid change these last few years. And one of the most important parts of success from someone who's been in this industry for almost 2 decades now is that you will need to not only reinvent yourself time and time again, you will also need to adapt to change constantly. So we're going to talk about that in this episode of Getting Real and the steps you can take to constantly be reinventing yourself and to constantly be succeeding in real estate. If this is your first time listening to Getting Real, I'm so damn appreciative that you are here. Taking some time out of your day to listen to what I have to say means the world to me. If you enjoy this episode, if you enjoy any of the episodes you hear on Getting Real, one of the biggest things you can do to further support our mission here at Getting Real and here at our Natale companies, for less agents to fail in real estate and more agents to find the life of their dreams, is to share the episode. Share it to your Instagram story. Share it with a friend. Share it with a colleague. And keep coming back week after week. Every single Wednesday, we drop an episode of Getting Real here anywhere podcasts are available and the video version on YouTube. We have some great interviews coming up with some unbelievable agents across the country that are absolutely crushing it. I'm excited to hear their stories and everything they're doing to be successful, and you can draw some inspiration from them. But if you could take some time to share this episode or share any episode you've heard here at Getting Real, I'd be just a little bit more appreciative of you. If you're here in New Jersey and you're looking for a dynamic real estate company to join that has the support, the training, the opportunities and the technology, everything you need to be a successful real estate agent while also keeping 100% of your commission, Natale Realtors might be a great fit for you. Anything you want to know about us, we are complete open book. There is a link below to book a call with me to discuss your career and joining us here in New Jersey at Natale Realtors. If you're in one of the other 49 states or across the world at this point, and you are looking to become an attraction magnet for your business, have people that are like-minded to you reach out to you constantly and tell you they want to buy and sell real estate with you. They want to invest in real estate with you. You want to build a community. You want to have an audience. You want to build your business. You want to have fun selling real estate, building the life of dreams for your family. Natale Coaching is a fit for you. Everything is available at natalecoaching.com. What we do, all of our options, and the link to book a call with me so we can discuss exactly what's going on in your business, where you could possibly need some help, how we could possibly fit in, and if it makes sense to partner up and help you develop your brand and your business. That call is 100% free, and there is no obligation to sign up if it's not a fit for you or for us. But if you are looking to develop that life of your dreams for your family, you want to have some fun, you want to build a brand, you want to build your business, you want to become extremely profitable, Natale Coaching is for you. Now let's dive into how and the need to reinvent yourself almost all the time in real estate. As much as the physical act that your job is to find people that are looking and are motivated to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, that is always the same. What is always changing is the means in which we do it. And the reality is a lot of people coming into real estate, it's one of the biggest jokes for our industry, which I don't think is a joke. I think it's just a nature of fact, but I also think it is changing with everything I'm seeing from younger professionals out there. Is that nobody comes into this career as a first career. It's usually a fallback option or a second, third, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth career for some people. And while I think that has elements of truth in it, especially due to the fact that the average agent is older, even the average age of a brand new agent is not 22 years old. It's not a college graduate. The barrier of entry is low. So some people, when they are having step backs in their career in which they had, typically step into real estate to try it. And that's okay. A lot of them find massive success. I'm one of the very few people that I know that got licensed in college and or before college or as they graduated college and then kept with the real estate career as their career. And I'm going to share in this episode all the different times that I've reinvented myself so you can draw some inspiration for reinventing yourself all the time. And I'm going to put this as a very forefront footnote. This is not talking about shiny object syndrome, where the need to reinvent yourself means every new little thing that you hear that you can get business by, you have to go jump at that opportunity, spend that money, invest that $500, invest that $1,000, go and chase this lead, go and chase that. That's not the message here. The point is very simple. You will always be reinventing yourself. And if you're someone who came into the career reinventing yourself just to get into real estate, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Say you had a 9-to-5 type of job or anything with set hours. You had to reinvent yourself to focus on the real estate activities in which you need to be doing to have success as a real estate professional. There is no boss over your shoulder. There is no timesheet to clock in. You are your own boss. You are your own business owner. While you may be a member of a team or a brokerage that has some accountability, that is still not a boss over your shoulder with a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. So the first biggest way a lot of people have to reinvent themselves in real estate is reinventing themselves as a business owner and viewing themselves as a business owner. I was always a natural born entrepreneur from when I was literally 10 years old, from flipping Pokemon cards and all the like in the 90s to now today growing a real estate company, growing a real estate coaching business, growing a media company. I've always had an eye towards entrepreneurship. The vast majority of people coming into real estate may desire it, but not have always done it in their life. So one of the most important parts of reinventing yourself in real estate is to start really viewing yourself as a business owner, a true business owner. Your business in real estate is the same as a small business that owns a flower shop. It's the same thing as owning a pizzeria. It's the same thing as owning a surf school or a fishing charter business. You have certain overheads, you have costs to your business, you have to figure out how to get customers and clients, and you have to figure out how to drive those customers and those clients to pay enough money that your overheads are taken care of and you have profit that makes it actually worth it to be in business. Now, once you're in business, the crazy thing about real estate is things are always changing. Like, I'll take you over a brief overview of what it's been like since 2008. In 2008, 2009, 2010, you want to know what the biggest driver of my business was? Biggest driver. When the market was absolutely awful. In 2008, I think 2009 is when Zillow technically started. We're talking almost like ancient real estate at this point. Almost 20 years ago. The biggest driver of business for me was Craigslist. You know what we would do? We would go on Craigslist. We'd put an ad out there and say house for, at that time, $125,000, $175,000. Click this link to go there. People would click that link, go to our website. They would put in their information, and then we'd contact them. So I'd be putting up Craigslist ads day in and day night. I'd be putting up Craigslist ads day and night. We drove an insane amount of business in those early years. Eventually, scams came out of Craigslist. People got leery of it, and it wasn't as much of a thing. As the early part of the 2010s went on, I tried a whole bunch of different things, from open house to mailers to buying a drone so I could do my own drone photos and video for a property. Like, we're talking the original DJI drone. I'd use mail to send to FSBOs, expireds, to some neighborhoods. I would do open houses. We would door knock a lot. A very proactive approach to getting real estate, especially in your early 20s. And it worked. Got business. As time went on, it was all about efficiency. And by the mid-2010s, I got over my fear and I picked up a phone. If you're watching on YouTube, I just picked up my iPhone. Although it wasn't an iPhone, I would use an office phone. I'd sit with an office phone, literally a corded office phone, and call for sale by owners, expireds, and neighborhoods. And I built a massive business from it. As we got into the COVID pandemic, business couldn't really come any easier. We had a flourishing, prospecting-based, highly profitable business, had been in business for 10 plus years, so referrals, all the like, and we utilized open houses. This was before Zillow was a technical brokerage, so you'd be able to update the Zillow description to say, call the listing agent, put my cell phone number there, and we'd have a bunch of people call us in that late 2010s into the COVID pandemic to buy a house. That obviously changed. One of the biggest things to come during the pandemic was iBuying. Remember iBuying? This was supposed to put all real estate agents out of business. All these companies like OfferPad, Open Door, all these companies were going to replace the real estate agent. Zillow, iBuying, all of it. It obviously didn't. And then as 2022, 2023 came on, I looked out at the industry and I said, hey, we have to reinvent some things here. I see these 2, 3, 4 people on social media all the time. I don't really know who they are, but somehow these platforms like TikTok, Instagram are starting to play them for me. I said, is this feasible? And I went all in. And it worked. And we built massive, massive business in a very, very hard market here in New Jersey. We did more business than ever in 2024. And the reality is, over all those years, I never did what I'm doing today to get business is not the same thing we did even last year or the year before, or heaven forbid, 15 years ago, 17 years ago when I started. You will always be reinventing yourself. Not on the daily, not typically on the monthly, but if you're not always out there looking at what is next, And what's the next opportunity to get business? What's working for you right now is not to abandon. But when things stop working, you need to look out and say, well, what is going to work? And that's one of the most important keys to success in real estate. I see so many people go on great 2 or 3 year runs. I know fantastic agents by me that made more money than anyone in 2020 and 2021. They were spending upwards of $20,000, $30,000 a month on Zillow leads, but they were paying and getting back 2 or 3 or 4 fold on it. I'm talking about people that closed $1 million of GCI. But that's when everybody and their mother wanted those types of properties. And interest rates were low, so people were moving around. The market has obviously quickly frozen here in New Jersey. Some of those agents that went from $1 million GCI are out of the business now. Why? Because you don't reinvent yourself. This isn't to say Zillow leads are bad or any specific lead is bad. If you just get obsessed with one facet to get business and just sit there year after year, even after it's not driving as much business, you are going to be in trouble. That's why people have good 1 year spells, 2 year spells, 3 years, and sometimes even 5 year spells. But when I look out and see, well, who's had a good 15-year run? Who's gone from being an individual agent to running a team to running a company similar to what I've done? Maybe 5, 10 people, 15 in my entire area. And that's not to say what I've done, I'm the number one agent. Not by a long shot. That has never driven me, though. And what I find is the person who drives to be number one, you're not going to be number one forever. You're not. And once you get there, what else is there to do? Sometimes the drive to be number one is going to be actually far more successful for you than actually getting to be number one. But you absolutely need to be reinventing yourself time and time again throughout your real estate career if you're going to have success. Pivoting is super important. And one of the key things for me, and when I know things need to pivot, things need to change, is as you go on, you feel it. As an entrepreneur, you feel it. You feel like, okay, not as many customers or clients are coming from this activity. Is it what I'm doing? Is something changing? Do I need to change? And you figure things out as you go. The ability to trial and error is so important in this industry. Being able to also blindly say, I hope and I think this is going to work because no one knows 100% if it's going to, is an ability. And it all goes hand in hand with being able to reinvent yourself and change and adapt to that change and pivot. Don't be scared of change. And what I typically do anytime I've changed, when I went from prospecting to social media in these last couple of years, very, very heavily prospecting to very, very heavily social media with all the other fixins mixed in, I didn't just say one day, I'm going to stop prospecting and I'm only going to do social media. You add in whatever that next activity is, whatever you're reinventing yourself with, whatever you're changing to, whatever you're adapting, you add that in. You work extremely hard, doing in some ways both. And once it takes over, that's when you know it's time to cut it off. It's the same thing when you're growing a real estate team. When is the time to get out of production, if that's what you're looking for? Well, very simply, where your take-home pay is or what your bills are, and you are comfortable for another 3 to 6 months, that is when you go transition to full-time in real estate. Same thing when you're reinventing yourself with new activities to go and drive business. If you get stuck in the mud and you say, this is how I've always just gotten leads from so-and-so, I've always just done open houses, the only thing I'm going to do. It's not that it can't work for you. It can. But if you notice your business is flatlining, you need to also be able to reinvent yourself. You need to be the agent that, yes, okay, I rode 3 years, I did open houses every weekend, and it built me a nice big business. But now's the time for me to also add in social media. Now's the time to also go and prospect. Now's the time to go and door knock, whatever it is. That ability, that cognizance in your head to then go out and understand, okay, I need to go and do this, is what's going to drive you to have success in real estate. I've done it countless times over my career. Anybody that I've known that has been in business, let's say at least 7 to 10 years, has reinvented themselves several times over. They've gone from being the person who bought Google leads to now drives a community business. To the person who tried to do an open house every weekend and now does home tours and drives 10 times the amount of buyers. To the person who was scared to pick up the phone to now one of the best people in the country in prospecting. You will need to reinvent yourself. You will not be able to stay the same and have success in this business. I'm just being 100% honest. If there was any advice I was giving to my younger self, especially when it came to just having success in real estate, without saying one specific thing, it would be to have the mindset that you will always need to reinvent yourself. You will always need to adapt to change. You will need to find the right place for you and your business to grow and always be getting to that next level throughout your career. Because if you're able to reinvent yourself, it doesn't always mean more money, more sales, or anything like that, but it will mean continuously growing in your career. And when it comes to success, that's really all you can ask for, is a journey where you are adapting to that change and being the best version of yourself every time.